All right. There should be a Q&A panel that you can access, and I think that that's the way that we are able to interact. If somebody can try to post a question, I can let you know if I see it. All right, I actually see some stuff popping up in the comments, so that works too. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's see here. Chat. Okay, guys, let's just confirm this is working. Open the group chat panel in the Google Hangout. Right now I see there's one viewer, so maybe there's no one in here. Let me see. Well, okay, great. The question and answer module seems to be working. So Alexander Camacho can see and hear me. Good. That was the easiest question so far. What's that poster in the background? That is a poster of a place called Cinque Terre. Also, softball questions, guys. Let's turn up the heat here. I have some Glowdecks ready to go. Keep them coming. Okay. Okay, I don't see any questions here other than people joining and saying hello. So I'm going to take a look at the questions and the comments just for now, and we'll start there. But if you guys can make your way over to the video session, I see there's 4 viewers now, that would be great. So great, Don Delwood would like to know the status of things. That's a good general place to start. So as I have, I guess, mentioned now in the updates, things are moving as quickly as they can be. I'm now operating out of here, my apartment. And if you have a Glowdeck, this is probably the best place for you to get your questions answered. I think that there are 3 categories of backers at this point. One is the backer who backed the project and still has not received anything. To you guys, I've sort of explained the situation as best I can. I don't feel good about how long this has taken, or really any aspect of what I have had to ask you guys to do or contribute on top of the initial pledge. But ultimately, I'm just trying to do the best thing and the right thing. So that's that. As far as the other 2 categories go, there are those of you who have the Glowdeck and are iOS users. And for the most part, it seems like it's working out well with the new app. And then there are those of you with the Android devices who may be having more difficulty setting it up. And whatever your case is, let's try to sort it out tonight. So let's see, the next question is from Dennis Keever. Does the Glowdeck also show Facebook messages? So to Dennis, hold on just one second, guys. Sorry about that. So Glowdeck does not currently show Facebook messages. The whole concept in the streams platform that this all started with was to make these devices capable of showing pretty much messages across the board. As long as they were online, you would be able to set up your Glowdeck to view them and get notifications about them. The early feedback that I got was that that was confusing, that the Streams app seemed unrelated in some way to Glowdeck, and that was the reason that I simplified and made that push to develop a Glowdeck app. And that's what iOS users have had. I'm just waiting for the chance to give an update to all the Android users out there that there is a new app for you guys. But again, it's never worked out well for me when I have promised delivery of a certain thing by a certain time. So it's not off my radar, is all I can say. What else we got? I don't see any more questions in here, but I will look at the comments. I'm just seeing on the event page that some people don't seem to be tuned into the video. I just want to make sure everyone who wants to be watching this can be. Okay. So Don, does the Glowdeck charge new iPhones? Okay, so just in general, as a explanation of how the wireless charging works, you can charge actually any phone with the proper adapter and some without it. So here's, this is the iPhone 6 Plus. The reason that I'm able to charge the iPhone 6 Plus is because I have a case around it. This case is equipped with a little lightning plug, as you can see, which makes it convenient to do both wired and wireless charging. But when it is in, you can place it, so do the one it's paired with, on Glowdeck, and I don't know if you saw or heard, but it starts to charge. And then it displays now your charge percentage on the display. You also have these two wired charge ports for USB charging the old-fashioned way as well. Let's see what else we got. Okay, I'm not seeing more questions. Okay, so again, for Don asks, do I have a link for the special case? Yeah, you can just go to Amazon and search Qi, QI is the spelling, that's the wireless charge standard, and then the model of your phone, and you'll find tons of options, and they're very inexpensive. So I would just recommend doing a little research. If it is Qi compatible, it'll charge on Glowdeck. All right. Are you going to make the iOS app open source? Great question. So Don asks if I'm going to open source the iOS app. I don't have an answer to that right now. My intention is to actually eventually open source everything, not just the board or the firmware code or the iOS app, but literally the CAD designs that I made for the box, everything you would need to recreate this product on your own if you wanted to. But the only thing that is sort of putting the brakes on that plan is the fact that if there is any way for me to generate some revenue or bring in some kind of funds in order to expedite shipping and fulfillment, which is the top priority, I need to have those options available to me. And well, put simply, open sourcing might take one possible path to additional capital off the table. And so that is what I am holding off on open sourcing everything for. But yeah, plan is eventually I would like to open source this stuff. I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, we got Dennis asks, does the Glowdeck also work with the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, and when the okay, so I think the question here is about the S6 and the S7 that are forthcoming. Again, if it's Qi compatible, it charges on Glowdeck. I can tell you from firsthand experience that the Galaxy S6 phone, without any accessory or modification, charges out of the box on Glowdeck. If the Edge Plus is a different model, I don't know if that's the tablet or not, then I haven't had firsthand experience with it. But again, check out the specs and just look for the letters QI. All right. So next question comes from, we got Alexander Camacho, who is kindly copying a question from the comments. Thank you. It is tough to actually keep all these windows open. So actually, Tom Fox originally asked, when I plug my Glowdeck in, my phone does not detect it. I've got the latest app, but just the blue light from under the unit, and the screen is displaying nothing, any clues. Okay, so this is when it would be awesome if we can sort of be interactive here. Tom, if you are in here, there's on the sidebar, there's a blue icon. It says group chat. If you open that, just type anything, and then we can confirm that you're in here, and I can I can help you troubleshoot, but I have questions that I need to ask, and ideally we can interact here. Okay. It just posted in the event page. To click on the group chat icon, I'm trying to chat with you guys on the side pane here, looking to see if you guys are receiving it. All right. Not sure if this is working as well as we want. Okay. I guess the group chat is not working for people. Let's see. Well, okay, well, we got more questions here. For the questions about specific Glowdeck functionality, which I really want to answer, it's pretty important to have a back and forth dialogue going. So I'm going to keep checking the group chat window. When I click your link, I can't chat, but if I don't click it. Okay, so here's the way it works. If we can comment, I'll get the windows lined up so that we can do the chat as comments and the video separately. All right, let's try that. In the meantime, Dennis asks, it looks like the right Glowdeck has a bigger display than the left. No, it's just different display brightness settings that might be giving a sort of deceptive effect. But as you can see, if you, so if I turn the brightness on this display to the same level, maybe that makes it look equivalent. They're the same though. They're both 2.4 inches. So okay. Let's see what else we got. Still waiting for someone to respond in the event comment section. If I don't hear, okay, I see Alex says works for me. So let's go ahead and try to revisit the question about the blue light. So the blue light that you guys sometimes mention seeing is generally the result of a firmware update that was attempted but did not complete. For those of you who have not tried this yet or don't know, Glowdeck can update its firmware via your phone. So what ends up happening is you open the app. This is the one on iPhone. If you're an Android user, I've got both of them sort of here and ready to go. Oops. Then this is what the app looks like. And once you're connected, there are options on both of these apps that you can use to update the firmware. The current version, actually released 2 new builds since the last update, is version 0.67. And if you turn Glowdeck off and then turn it on again, you can actually see what version you have. So I unplugged it. Now I'm plugging the Cherry Glowdeck here back in. And as you can see, version 0.67, a mirror image of that, I suppose. If your version is not current and you launch the iOS app at least, it will tell you that, and it will prompt you to update. The reason that there are Glowdecks out there that are stuck in this blue light mode, like Tom, the one that you have, is probably because you got it, you saw the message to, you saw the message to update the firmware, and then something happened during the firmware update process to interrupt that. And so there's no good firmware on your Glowdeck, and blue light mode is sort of the default that it goes to in that situation. So with that said, how do you fix it? Here's how you fix it. So this is replicating the problem that you, Tom, are having, okay? If you unplug Glowdeck completely, so we're just looking at the Cherry one, and in fact, I'll turn both of them off right now. Let's just look at this guy. If you haven't already discovered this, because there are no instructions, here's the way that you put it into blue light mode, or what is actually the device firmware upgrade mode, DFU. You hold the button in the front down. So again, Glowdeck has 3 buttons: the front, the left, and the right. And you can just press the surface and not presses those buttons. Hold the front button down. Sure, you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm holding the front down, I'm plugging Glowdeck back in, and as you can see, it's starting up now in the same mode that, Tom, you've described is the only mode you can sort of operate in. It would be useful now to know whether or not you are on Android or iOS, but for the sake of demonstrating this, let's try assuming that you are an Android user. So if you're an Android user, you should have on your Bluetooth screen, let me actually start from the beginning. Here's what you do. You go to settings. This is step 1, whether you're in this mode or you're just setting up Glowdeck in the first place, okay? Click on Bluetooth. It will scan for devices, right? It finds one even when it's in blue light mode, and you click here, pairs with it, and it connects to it. That's the first step, and then the Streams app will find it as well. So now I just launched the Streams app. I click on this menu, I drop down devices, and there it is. There's one device. I click on that. Now it will connect to it, but it won't load the device controller because it's not hearing any response from Glowdeck. So to update the firmware, you click on About, and then there's an Update Glowdeck Firmware button. Click that. Now, the important part here, and I can't emphasize this enough, is the phone is currently downloading the most recent firmware version from the server. It just got it, and now it is transmitting that firmware from the phone to Glowdeck. This process takes about 5 minutes. If you interrupt it on your phone or on Glowdeck itself, in other words, if you exit the app or your phone shuts down or you unplug Glowdeck or basically anything to stop this from going forward smoothly the way it is, you will end up with a Glowdeck that's in that blue light mode. And so it's not a problem that can't be fixed, but the key is, okay, so I just see Tom Fox has added that he's an iOS user, so why don't we have 2 of these going at once? As you can see, the blue lights that are pulsing right here, be careful not to unplug it, they will pulse in this sequence, filling up with white slowly. Once the entire LED array is white, Glowdeck will restart itself, and that is how you know that it has finished updating. Okay, but again, the key here is just let it run. Okay, so for iOS users, I'm going to repeat sort of what I just did, but for iPhone, and show you how that works. Make sure you have the most recent version of the iPhone app. This is version 4.6, which was, I think, just approved on the App Store. So we plug in this Glowdeck, and again, we hold down the front when we do it. And now this Glowdeck as well is in blue light mode. I launch the Glowdeck app here. It's looking for Glowdecks, and it finds two. One of them, of course, is currently updating. So I will choose the other one. Okay, so I'm now connected to this, and you'll see what happens on the app, or what should happen is once it doesn't get a response, it says recovery mode. So it actually prompts you to re-upload the firmware in the new app on iOS. Also a feature that I look forward to offering to Android users. So click begin, and you see it says preparing update. You can see a little preview of the number of emails that come in every day. And in a moment, now you see these lights are pulsing as well, and it says Glowdeck updating. Again, the key, we wait until this is completely done, and it takes 5 minutes or so to do. You'll know it's working and that you're not sort of wasting your time, again, because as you see, the LEDs start to pulse and the white light fills up, taking the place of the blue lights. And I guess this one will be finished before this one, but once it's done, it will restart itself. So just don't interrupt it before that. Okay, so Tom, I see says it comes back with Glowdeck not found. So let me see. Okay. So Tom, a couple things that you want to just check and be sure are the case. First is that you have Bluetooth turned on your iPhone. I'll just sort of throw these things out there and wait to see a comment. Got it. You did the front press. Got it. If we have Bluetooth enabled and you have the most recent version of the app, when you click connect, it still says cannot find Glowdeck. Is that correct? Alex, I got it with regard to Tom's iOS platform. While I'm waiting for Tom to respond, I'll answer Alex's other question here on a timeline for the more refined Android app. Again, I am not going to hazard a guess. All I can tell you is these things tend to happen in unexpected ways. I've reached out to a number of folks, both in the backer community who are Android developers and just people online who have expertise in this area. Frankly, I would love to just devote my time to making an Android app myself, but just as I was not an iOS developer before I made the iOS app, I'm not an Android developer, and the learning curve, the amount of time every day that it took to get an app ready to go would basically prevent me from building it or shipping a single unit. So I am looking for help, but without quoting a time, all I can tell you is hopefully it will happen soon, because I certainly want all the users to have a good experience. I know Streams has issues. Okay, so I got a couple things from Tom and Martin. Let me just finish here with Tom, and then we'll move forward. So Bluetooth is on, but not finding the Glowdeck could be recognized. Okay, yeah, Okay, so Tom says that it's coming up as something named BC something. That is possible, and that's an odd issue. I'm not sure how that happened for you. I here configure each Glowdeck so that it has a unique Glowdeck name. The BC refers to the manufacturer of the Bluetooth chip. Because I'm not sure that this particular case applies across the board, Tom, after this session, I'm going to send you a message right away, and we'll talk about the steps that you can take to fix it. But bottom line is, yeah, that should be manageable. Send me an email and let me know what kind of computer you have and what kind of operating system you have on it, because we can do this very quickly depending on what platform you have, and just through the micro USB port in the back, we can debug it. So, Tom, we will get it taken care of. Okay, Martin says, I have a Galaxy Note 4 and also the Glowdeck in blue light mode. Tried several times, will not restart even after leaving it for over an hour. I emailed, you did not answer. I am sorry that I am not responding to all the emails. I don't know if you've just seen my phone buzzing. It's pretty much constant and overwhelming, and it's not a reflection of how much I care about each of you guys. It's just, it's 1,000 to 1. That's what it is. So that said, this is why I'm holding this, so that we can answer some questions. So so don't throw it in the trash. Here's what we should do. Martin, if you can sort of, if you're able to respond, first question for you is, have you tried the step that I just sort of demonstrated? Did you see the step I demonstrated here? Okay, Tom, got it. Just to finish with Martin here, did you see how I did it with the Android phone? Because the procedure would be the same with your Galaxy Note 4. I'll wait to see what you have to say with regard to that question, Martin. And Tom, yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks for getting me the Bluetooth ID. Let me know what kind of computer you have access to. That'll be the fastest way to sort out your particular issue. Did you address David Smith, clock issue, 56 minutes fast, love it otherwise? Thank you. And 56 minutes fast is, yes, too many minutes, too fast. And the answer to fixing that is dependent on what kind of phone you have. So David, if you can just reply and let me know if you're Android or iOS, I can guide you from there. And Martin says that you have tried that step. Martin, when you try that step, do you see anything in Android settings? I don't want to interrupt it right now, but when you go to Android settings and Bluetooth, do you see a Glowdeck in your list? And if so, is it under paired devices or available devices? If you can answer that question, I can help you further. So yeah, and David, I'm just waiting for your mobile platform. In the meantime, Don says, from your mailings, you state the Glowdecks are built. Can I send you shipping addresses and shipping funds? From my mailings, I have not intended to indicate that all the Glowdecks are built. They are not. I am building them by hand one at a time, and there were a large chunk of them. There was a big pile of them that were built, and that's when I started doing the sort of shipping invoice system to get them out, but that was not all of them. So, you know, as you can, I guess, sort of see here, I mean, if you could look to this side, I have piles of these, and each one of these is a Glowdeck that I've just built today. As far as when you can get the shipping invoice, I just posted an update before this session. I guess you must have read if you're here. If you want the shipping invoice now, that's fine. I'm happy to do it. I just I wanted to avoid any aggravation associated with somebody paying for shipping and then having to wait longer to receive it than they expected, because that had happened from the first batch. So as you can see, this takes a while. We're still only at 70% on the Android update, for those of you who are following along with this exciting live action. Okay. Okay, so David said Android. So with Android, you're saying that it's 56 minutes fast. When you, David, tell me this. I'm presuming you've connected to the Glowdeck in Android's Bluetooth settings. Have you also opened the Streams app and connected to the device via Streams? If the answer to that is no, then that would be the next step for you. If so, then I have, I guess, some more questions. In the meantime, I'm seeing Martin has under available devices, but won't pair. Can you take a screenshot for me, Martin, of that screen where you're seeing it, and either email it to me at justin@glowdeck.com or post it in a comment on the event page so I can take a look? Okay. Don asks another question here. Oh, no, this is the same one that I answered. Okay, so I'm standing by here for some answers from you guys. But you know, just to make a general point here, if your Glowdeck is sort of stuck in this blue light purgatory, there is almost universally a way to resolve that and make it work the way it should with all the current features, which we should actually demo at some point during this because it's got some new stuff going on. But it really depends on your particular platform and hardware as to how we go about repairing it. So to David, I just see some responses coming in now. It started out an hour fast. Both Streams and Bluetooth are connected. So, so David, when you open Streams and connect, the first thing that Glowdeck does is send a request to the phone for the time. So I guess two questions. Number one, do you have, what does the time look like on your phone? Like on my Android device, I see here it says at the top right, 6:09. Doesn't display 24-hour, displays 12-hour, and that's been a problem for some people. Can you tell me what it looks like on your phone? Tom, no worries, no worries. Before you hook up any, actually, please don't hook up the micro USB cable before I give you instructions. It's not great to have it plugged in without having Glowdeck plugged in. Well, it looks like iOS beat Android this time. But as you can see, so it looks like Android is about to finish as well, though. Now, whatever time Glowdeck boots up to, like in this case, this Glowdeck booted to 11:25, it just changed to 6:10 because it requests the time from the phone, which is supposed to then send it. So if it's not sending it, in your case, David, there is a way to manually set it, and I can show you how to do that. But yeah, it would be helpful to sort of get a look at what your time settings are first. Okay, Martin, no problem. If you send me that information or that shot, I will be sure to help you troubleshoot it further. I just need I need to see what we're dealing with because, yeah, the answer depends. Currently, yeah. Okay, so no accusation of either. So David, I see you saying it's 9. The time is currently 9:11. Are you telling me that that's the way it's displayed on your Android device? Because if that's the case, then that's the same time format that I have here. Like as you can see, let's see. I don't know if you can sort of. It says 6:12, and then for me, as soon as I connect to Glowdeck, it will consistently update the time in case it's been out of sync with what the current internet time is. If yours isn't doing that, easiest answer might be if you have another device out there, either like an iOS. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. So if you have another device that you can test this with, that would be the best thing. Even if it's another Android device, that would at least help us determine whether it's device specific or platform specific. But like I said, there is a way to just transmit commands to Glowdeck from a computer or from a phone manually and do anything that you want to do without the actual UI. So David, I'll wait to hear from you on some of that information. Tom, okay, so Tom, I need to know what kind of computer we're dealing with. If your answer is a computer running Windows 7, that is the best possible, just because it's the easiest to interface with this device. But there are other ways we can do it too. Martin. Yeah, definitely. So Martin asked if we can do a meeting separately to sort of sort out this problem. And yeah, in the case of issues that I can't solve easily here or that are not broadly applicable, I'm happy to work with people one-on-one. You just got to bear with me in terms of availability, because there are a lot of you out there who want some support and deserve it. I just need to get to all of you. Okay. David asks, how does one set the time manually? So in the latest version of the iOS app, at least, I added that as an option because that was something people had asked for. So, whoops, if you look at, so this is just for iOS users. If you look at the first tile now, where it used to be an alarm tile, now it says time. If you just hold the time tile, you see now you have the option to, it's a little bit of a glare here, but manually set the time on your Glowdeck. So let's say that I wanted to make it, 8:09 p.m. I just choose that, I hit the check mark, and you can see it updated the time. I don't recommend doing that unless you're out of options, because your phone time can't be changed in that way unless you do it through iOS settings, and things won't synchronize properly. For Android users, to set the time manually, your best option is actually to send a time string. I'm trying to think of how to instruct you guys to do this. So what I'm going to do for you guys who have Android phones but have time issues, before I actually address that, David, just in case there are no other issues with people having time discrepancies on Android, can you confirm for me the version of the Android Streams app that you're using, and also the version of Android that you have on your phone. It's Lollipop or whatever Google's quirky names are. Okay, Martin, got it. That sounds great. Sorry for the lag time in getting you up and running, but we'll figure it out for sure. Okay, so waiting on David. Tom, I'm still waiting on you for your platform for your computer, because that's how we'll sort out your issue. And I will check the Q&A for other questions. Okay, I guess while I'm waiting for you guys to get that information back to me, I'll just sort of demo a couple of things here for you, both on the iOS and Android side. So first, just because I think the Android community could use a little love, if you want to use the Streams app to control Android, this is just repeating what I said, but it's important. You have to start by connecting in Bluetooth settings, okay? Then it connects, and you can see it says Glowdeck connected, right? That's the key. After you've done that, if you open the Streams app and you click on devices, you see it show up. You click on your Glowdeck, it will say device connected, do a little rainbow swirl for you. And here's what you can do on Android right now. You can play with the lights using this wheel and these hue and saturation settings. You can adjust the display brightness by sliding this thing up and down. And if you go to the settings menu, you have a bunch of other stuff you can do. If you don't use the wireless charging surface, you can always turn that off. If you want an auto brightness setting enabled, for example, if this is a night table device, click on this button. And now, let me just turn the lights off so you guys can see it. But so now, if I put my sort of hand over the display, or over the light sensor rather, you can see the display sort of goes dark. But if I take it off, it comes back. That's because right here is an ambient light sensor that will automatically adjust the display's brightness accordingly. So that's one feature that you guys have access to. You see here music sync. If you turn this on, I actually just added this for real. Until now, it had been sort of a light show that played but was not actually synchronized with music. It was just sort of busting out some moves. But if you look at it now, kind of like I'll open Spotify and I'll just play whatever song we got. It's actually synchronizing to the music. And the intensity of the lights depends on the volume. So if it's down a lot, it gets a little bit darker. If I turn it up, it's the same routine, it's just a little bit brighter. So Android users have access to this feature too. You just gotta enable it in your stream settings. And again, turning it off, oops, turns it off. Next, Android users also can access the equalizer setting, which is something, ironically, that is not yet in the iOS app. So there's one thing you guys got. Click on EQ, and you can change the way the music sounds by choosing any of these presets. Okay. And as far as streams goes, since this is the Streams app, just to finish this little Android presentation, if you turn on Streams right now, it's sort of hit or miss depending on what platform you're using, whether this will work. But for the time being, it says Stream syncing. I just turned that Streams knob on. And As of version 0.67, I tried to make this more compatible across different versions of Android and different phones. It's again, it is sort of hit or miss whether or not this syncs, and everything will be smoother once we get to the next version. But once that has synced, I'll show you guys how you can operate it. For the time being, let me return here. It looks like, Tom, you got Windows 7. That's great. So if you have Windows 7 phone, if you have Windows 7 computer, I'm going to email you specific instructions for how to deal with the BC setting that you're seeing. It's not hard. It's just a matter of following step by step. Some of our dev board backers might even be able to chime in and help you because they went through the same thing. David says, phone is 5.1.1. Previous caller, my Glowdeck is at my office. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure how to troubleshoot if you don't have the Glowdeck here, other than to say, yeah, hit me up with a message. In general, just so you guys know, I get a ton of emails, but if you send me like a chat over Google Hangouts, I've been pretty public with my personal email. It's jmkoff@gmail.com. I have an easier time responding to those. There aren't as many, and it's sort of more of a live interaction that people have had a good experience with. So rather than sending me Kickstarter messages or posting comments or emails, I would encourage you to just invite me to chat on Google, and I'm usually on there working. Okay, so David, I'll wait to hear from you for when we have the Glowdeck at our fingertips to work with. And let me just see if there's more questions posted in the Q&A. Okay. Okay, so if those are all the questions for now in the Q&A, I'll just show you guys what's going on the iOS side real quick. And yeah, barring any other questions, I want to make sure we get through some of this stuff that applies broadly to everyone. I hope we have. We've seen how to deal with the blue light situation, and if that solution doesn't work for you, again, just hit me with a chat, and we'll sort it out. But so Glowdeck, we connect on iOS now, and the same sort of thing happens as device connected. The wheel spins around, and things synchronize. The time is back to where it should be. So let's see what we can do. At a basic level, you can sort of spin this wheel, and things eventually the light will fill up when you let go. You touch the middle, turns it off. Touch the middle again, comes back on. So just sort of a fun way to play with the light system. Here's what it looks like on the underside, which is sort of fun. Okay, so that is the light wheel. What else do we have here? When you want to play music through Glowdeck, you have to, the first time you want to do it, you have to initiate another connection, okay? So if I hit play, it says connect audio. So then I will move over to iOS settings. And you guys should be familiar with this. Let's see here. Okay. So if I go to Bluetooth, you can see I have a lot of Glowdeck devices here, but I want to connect to the same one, to the Glowdeck with the same name as the one that I'm connected to here. So here you see connected to 16054, and for those of you who just got one Glowdeck, should be easy to find. Here I'm connected to 16054, so I click on the same name, and you'll see a second instance of it starts to connect, right? And this can take a second. So you just got to be patient. Okay, actually something, it seems like it did not connect because I was connected with the Android device, which is a good opportunity to explain something. For audio and messaging purposes, the privacy settings on Glowdeck are such that you can only have one device set up to send audio and mobile notifications at a time to any Glowdeck. That's sort of the personal nature of it. So if you are trying to connect to it and you're getting a message that you can't pair, then the reason for that is that another device is paired. For example, probably this device right now. The way to resolve that, if you're an iOS user, is actually fairly simple. If you click on this menu, again, it's okay that we're connected in the Glowdeck app for iOS. Does not mean that we're connected to audio and mobile notifications. But again, you click on that icon to bring up this control panel, and it says unpair Bluetooth. I click on that option. It says this will cause Glowdeck to forget the previously paired device, which is what we wanted to do. So I click unpair. And now, if I try to repair, usually I go ahead and I just restart Glowdeck. And when I say restart, I just mean power cycle, unplug, replug. Okay. And I reconnect. Okay. And so now let's try again. Going over to settings. Oops. Back to settings. And here's the important part. If you have reset the paired devices list, which we did, before you're going to be able to connect to it, you need to forget it from this list. And so I want to show you specifically how to do that. See, I'm trying to connect right now, and it says I couldn't. And the reason for that is because it's still in my paired device list, but on Glowdeck, it's not paired. Again, this is all a little bit more complicated than I would like it to be, but it is what it is. So I click on iOS, I click that little eye icon, and I click forget this device. And then at the bottom, forget device. And now, as you can see, it shows up at the bottom here under other devices. So if I click on it now, and this is the same procedure, by the way, for Android. If you have unpaired and reset, you just need to forget the device in your Android settings list as well. But now it will connect and pair for the first time. If you still have an issue, this is what I tell all backers is the last resort. It's a factory reset, and that effectively unpairs things forcefully on the hardware side. Hold the left button down, plug it back in, and wait until you see on the screen factory reset. So it'll look like this, okay? And it says unpair phone, which we did. Okay. And now that we are reset, we connect again, and hopefully what I'm showing you guys is going to solve some of the issues that you've been facing. So go back over to iOS settings, sorry. And then we look for other devices. And there it is. If I click on it now, just wait a moment, it should go up into paired devices. Yep. So once it's in paired devices and it says that it's connected, right? We can go back to our app, and if we play music, you'll notice that the phone thing lights up. If you want to get mobile notifications, there's one more step that you have to follow, and that is clicking the eye icon here. Let's see. when you click the eye icon, you should get a option to show notifications if you haven't already done that. So we can see music works, and then we go back here. And yes, now with notifications enabled, you can see that the pink icon for messages has turned on. Same thing for music sync. If you want to do that on iOS, just use the control panel and toggle it on, turn it off, same thing. Okay, easy, easy. All right, so I'm going to just have a quick peek here now that I've showed you some stuff. Tom, I will send you an email as soon as this is over. Hopefully we can tackle this tonight. I'm going to actually have to leave in a little while, but we'll certainly get it done this weekend. And I'm looking for any other questions or issues people want to discuss. If that is it, then we can certainly sign off and you guys can go have some fun on Friday night. I'll wait for another 5 minutes and see if you guys have anything else to ask. If not, I'll just show you guys the rest of what is in the iOS app since I did Android. Music right now only supports the music that's in your iTunes library, but you can open like the Spotify app or whichever music app you use and play from outside of the Glowdeck app. So for now, I just play what I have here, and you can see it shows you the song that's playing in the app, and it'll display here. But yeah, I think probably the most fun thing about the music is the syncing of the lights. If I got a text message right now, you would get to see what that looks like. But apparently I get more emails than texts. Let's see, maybe I can set myself one. So we put this down to charge. Let's turn off the music just for now. You can see it says 9% charged. And I'm going to try sending myself a text. I don't know if it's going to work for me. So, well, if someone else out there is watching and has my phone number, you can send me a text and you'll see what I mean. But for the time being, I think that should cover the questions that have been asked. So, Tom, I'll send you an email now. And yeah, again, sorry that there's been any frustration and that was not an instruction manual. It's just a function of cost, what you can afford to do. All right. So I will I'll be in touch with you guys. We can do another one if this was useful. Have a good weekend.